Hi everyone, welcome to Good Day Chula Vista, episode 69. And I'm Faby Gonzalez with Cobo Banker West. We're going to try this one more time because something's going on with our system and it keeps cutting off. But stay with us because we're going to be talking to this hottie over here. We're back?
Yeah.
Welcome back. So we're just trying to see our iPad, see how we see ourselves on video. There, I'm going to have you look at it.
Nice. Yeah, we can see it.
Yep, okay. So today I'm here with Eric Martinez from the Inspectors Company. Thank
Hi,
you,
everybody.
Eric.
Hey, how's it going?
This is your third time with us?
Third time, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Episode 69.
69, can you believe that?
Man, congratulations. You've been doing an awesome job, so keep it up.
Thank you. You started with us when we were at the warehouse, remember?
Yeah, it was a warehouse in the back. Was it still here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Still there, but we don't even go in that warehouse anymore. Anyways, today we're gonna talk. Eric is gonna help us get our house winter ready because we forget the things we need to do, and then we end up just having to call in a rush somebody to fix our leaks or things that happen, and then.
Yeah, getting your house winter ready is super important, especially today. Obviously, since it's raining, a lot of things can just show up out of nowhere because all of a sudden water is coming in through the roof or through the side of your house or in your bathroom. You just never know. So you definitely have to get your house winter ready.
Right, Eric. Before we start giving them advice, why don't you tell them about you? Because I know you and some of them know you, but we have a lot of new viewers and they don't know who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Eric. I'm the owner and inspector with the Inspectors Company. We're a home inspection company in San Diego. And so I'm here to pretty much talk about what are the important things to maintain, especially like a day like today when it's raining, on how to maintain your home. So that's a little bit about me. I'm from San Diego. I've been on the show a couple times and really like to just educate all of you guys on what to do with your house and how to maintain it.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so we prepare some questions to make it easier when we can ask him and then have some order in our conversation here just so we can get the most information for them. So do you need to spend money to get your house winter ready?
You don't have to spend any money, but you may want to spend a little money, meaning that you want to invest in some paint, some caulk, maybe some landscape tools like a rake or a shovel, because you never know when the rain hits, like a day like today. You want to pay attention to where all the water is puddling, because you want the dirt around your house to slope away from the house. So sometimes you may need to invest in tools like a shovel or a rake, so that way you can make sure that everything is sloping away from your house. So very little money, but it's a good investment overall because you're going to need those tools again for the next year. That way you don't have to spend it again.
So you can spend little money to get it ready or a lot of money fixing the issues later.
Yeah, so if you don't fix the issues now, it's going to be way more expensive down the road. So definitely invest in those things.
Okay, so in your experience, what are the most common maintenance that homeowners forget to do before the winter?
Yeah, and it's really simple. It's, starting off by caulk and paint. Just those two things alone can go a long way and it can save you, or it can last for a really long time. So for instance, outside of your house, depending on what your house is made of, usually a lot of our houses are made of wood, and we do have to paint and caulk all the seams and anywhere where there's an opening, because when it rains like a day like today, water can get in between the seams and rot the wood. And so a lot of times during the summer, you'll start noticing the rot and all that moisture damage come up because it's already done the damage. So
right, because it was not painted before it started raining. So when you said caulk, is that because you talk about that because you know what that is, but what is that?
Yeah, it's like a sealant, right? It's like a paste that comes in a tube, and you can put it into like a little gun where it squeezes out, and you want to just put a bead of caulk in between any seam or any opening around the house. So
is it like the kind you put around your sink?
Yeah,
so the water doesn't go behind your sink? Okay.
Yeah, it's similar to that. That one, you can use silicone or you can use caulk. They're both usually waterproof. So.
Okay. So silicone or caulk, either one of those. And there's some for outdoors and indoors, or they're all the same?
Yeah, there's some for outdoors. There's some that are, for your roof too. There's sealant that you can use for your roof. There's sealant that you can use around your doors and windows. And they also come in different colors. So let's say your house is like a beige color. You can try to get something that will match your house. So that way it doesn't look like you have all these black lines around your house and you're trying to take care of your house, whether you're just,
They have all colors now.
Yeah, they have all colors.
So Karen is asking here, is it better, like, because you were talking about the wood, if you don't paint it, is it better to just stucco over your wood if you have a house that has wood on the outside?
Stuccoing over the wood may be difficult because sometimes the two may not bond, but I'm pretty sure there's ways where contractors can make it work. But stucco, works the same way as wood. It's going to help keep the water out.
Okay.
So it may or may not work. It just depends on your house. But I would maybe ask a contractor to see if that is an option.
If it's worth it.
If it's
going to make a difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might be cheaper just to paint the wood and keep it with a couple coats of paint instead of like doing the stucco. Because it's a stucco, you still have to paint it anyway. Sometimes if it's too old, it starts getting like cracks and.
Yeah, the color starts to fade, and a lot of times too, you'll see at the bottom of the stucco. I'm sure every one of you guys have seen where the bottom of the stucco gets really discolored and dirty, and that's from all the rain just splashing up against the house, and that's why the stucco sometimes has to get washed or repainted, just like a wood house.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you here, just in case they have questions.
Sure.
Remember, I told you that we don't see them later. So Karen, we have Salvador. Carmen Jaro, hola, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everybody.
Rafael Parra, Diana de la Torre. Stay with us, Dianita, because you can tell your clients about all these things. Lisa, now that you're a new homeowner, make sure you're watching so you know what you need to do with your house.
I can also, if Facebook lets me, I can also add pictures of some of the things I've seen where, the lack of maintenance happens and what can happen from the lack of maintenance, and I can probably share those pictures on.
You know what we can do? Why don't you post them on your business page?
Okay.
And we can put that link because it'll let you add a link, and you can just put go to this link to see before what could happen if you don't do the maintenance.
Okay, so we'll do that for you guys. I'll put a link and then put some pictures up on what areas and what can happen to your house when you don't maintain it with the stuff that we're going to go over today. So
that's great. Thank you, because you know what, it really helps, especially when you guys are new homeowners. You don't know any of this stuff until it actually happens to you, and then you're like, oh, I wish somebody would have told me. I try to tell my buyers as much as I can when I'm there with you doing the inspection, especially about like not having plants right next to the house and things like that. But there's so much to go over then.
Yeah, there's not a lot that you can. You can't go over everything during a home inspection. So when we do a home inspection, we do a walkthrough and we explain the house, like where to turn the water off, where to turn the electricity off, but all the little minor details, like the things we're talking about and how to maintain your home, we really don't have all that time to talk about during an inspection.
You're actually inspecting to see what the status of the home before they buy it.
Right, but we do mention things that are neglected, such as this, where we put it in the report so that way you can get a sense as to why it is important to do these things, because we may have already found the damage from the lack of maintenance during the home inspection.
Right. Okay, so then, so one of the most common was they don't paint the wood. And what other thing do you remember?
Landscaping. So, right now during the winter, pay attention to, how the water ponds around your house, especially if you haven't lived in your house for more than a couple winters. You don't know where the rain's going to go until it actually happens. So pay attention to where the water is ponding. If your house has drains around the house, sometimes the drains are clogged, and then the water is just going to puddle and flood your grass, and then your grass is going to get over flooded and muddy. So pay attention to where the water is. That's one thing you can do. Another thing I think we're going to touch on is maintaining your roof. So the roof is a really important thing to take care of too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So before we move to the roof, I wanted to ask you, so I always thought that for foundations to move, it was easier for them to move when they were raised foundations and water was going under the house. But I just sold a house that they had to fix a foundation because water was actually going under the concrete and it actually moved the wall. So
yeah, that can happen. So like same thing, watch where the water goes, especially if you haven't lived in your house for more than a couple winters. Because if everything slopes towards the bottom of your house, if you have a slab, the water can actually cause the soil to expand and contract. Especially if you have
Spring Valley, like that's one of the kind of soils that it happens, right?
Exactly. It's expansive like a clay. Clay expands and contracts, and when it gets wet, it'll expand like a sponge, and then your foundation sitting on top of it, and that's how your foundation can move and crack. So getting all the water away from the foundation is the best thing to do.
So I've been advising most of my clients when we see that immediately the seller is not going to want to repair that they fix that so the water is not going towards the house. And you know, sometimes it could cost a few $100s to do that, but it was expensive to fix that foundation issue. The seller had to do that. But she could have saved all that money if she would have spent $400 on just redoing all the concrete because it was going like this to the house. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably from years and years and years of just rain, all sloping into the
That's amazing.
slab.
I never thought it would move like that kind of a foundation. It's
Yeah, it can happen.
Okay, so then now let's move to the roof. Like, what's the maintenance that you have to do to your roof so you don't have any winter damage?
Yeah, great question. All the penetrations that go through the roof, so if you stand back and you see all the pipes that go through the roof, the pipes actually have what's called a flashing. It's a piece of metal that wraps around the vent, so that seam still has to be sealed. And a lot of times when the sun hits it over the summer, it'll crack and deteriorate the sealant. And so you have to reseal them at least once a year before the winter because water can still get in between the seams and then go into the attic. So that's one thing you need to do to maintain your roof. Another thing is if you have gutters, you got to clean out your gutters. You know, most of us never go up there to do it because it is a dirty job. Some of us are scared of heights and getting on ladders.
Or spiders.
Yeah, there could be some big spider webs, especially if you have trees. If you have trees around your house, all those leaves are going to get in the gutters and just clog your gutters, and then they're just not going to do their job if it gets too much.
Too much water. Yeah, you know what? So even if you have a new roof, like he's saying, if you don't replace that, is it like a caulking around those
it's like a
vents in the and you know sometimes you don't see the leaks because the leaks go into the attic first. So before they get to your ceiling, once you see it in your living room ceiling, it's because it's really wet up there. Because they go through the attic, they go through the insulation, and then they go through the drywall.
Yeah, that's true because the insulation usually will absorb
all
the water before it even goes to the drywall because the drywall is still pretty thick. You know, it's like maybe 3/4 of an inch or half an inch, and then it has to absorb before you actually notice it.
Right. Yeah. So by the time you see it, that means it's been leaking for a while. So I think it's a good idea to recommend them to go into their attic when it rains and then just check. I mean,
everyone I've talked to is afraid of the attic, so I don't know.
You can pay someone to do it. Every time I have a contractor go to my house,
or just call me. I'll go up there and check it for you. So just give me a call.
Call Eric.
There you go.
He's big, but he fits in there.
I can fit in there.
I know. I've seen you under the crawl spaces.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the roof is definitely a big expense because how expensive is it to repair a roof?
I mean, just on the repairs alone, if you're going to get an actual licensed professional to make the repair, it could still cost you probably, around $1,000, if not more or less. But, when you want to replace the roof, it could be tens of thousands of dollars, especially if you need a whole brand new one. So definitely maintain the roof because these little maintenance tips will save you money down the road. And plus, when someone comes to your house, they're going to see, wow, they're actually like, you can tell when someone takes care of the house and someone who doesn't take care of the house.
Yeah.
Because we see good, bad, and ugly homes all the time. Not to, say anything about people who don't maintain their house, but you can definitely tell a difference from one house versus the next when someone's been painting it and the other person who hasn't. So.
Right. So painting the roof, make sure you're replacing the caulking around the vents up in the roof.
Around windows too. That's one thing I wanted to add.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, like if you have stucco, sometimes the window and the stucco will separate a little bit. And then so even around the seams there, I had a call yesterday. A client called me because his windows were leaking. All the windows are outside, had gaps. Mm-hmm. So he had to seal it, all his windows, and it stopped the leak.
So you seal that as well. I've never thought about the windows.
Yeah, windows, you can caulk and seal the windows. Sometimes doors too, especially if your door doesn't have like a roof over it.
Yeah.
All the rain will hit the door and then the seams around the door could get water inside too.
We just replaced our windows 2 years ago, but yeah, we probably have to check that. Karen is asking, a landscaper said we should have French drains.
Yes.
What are those?
It's just a drain. So basically, French drains, depending on where it is, sometimes you'll see them in front of doors or in front of garages. There's also area drains that are usually outside the perimeter of the house. And if your house has a slope in any kind of way or where it's more flood prone, you want to add something like French drains.
Is it the long ones?
Yeah, it's the long ones. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have one of those.
They all work the same way. It goes underground, usually has a perforated pipe where it'll just drain everything out to the street, or a corrugated pipe.
Right. So, just so you know, because when they were doing that in my house, I didn't know where that water was going to go. And I thought, well, I don't want it going into my sewer because we have to pay sewer, right?
Yeah.
But you actually just can direct that water out to the street when it's raining, and it's totally legal to do that, right? Because it's rainwater.
Yeah, it's stormwater, rainwater. So plus your street has, usually a lot of our streets have storm drains, and you see the signs all the time. You don't litter, don't put trash down there, because it all goes out to the ocean. Yeah. Okay,
so yes, Karen, good call. We need those. I do have some.
Yeah, and you want to clean them out too. Those do have to get cleaned out too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes.
No wonder I saw that they had two little screws, like you can actually remove the top. Okay. How often do you have to clean those?
Probably like right after the fall, after all the leaves fall off.
Ew.
Because you can get a lot of dirt. A lot of dirt can fall in there over the time. And then the dirt gets hard, and when it gets hard, it will actually like clog the drain, and then the water doesn't flow out anymore. And then it just puddles up there.
Okay, so clean your French drains, Karen. Okay, so the roof, the windows, the door, the area around the house. What else do we have to do?
So on the same topic as drains, sometimes depending on where our house is, some of our homes have sump pumps. A sump pump is just a pump that's underground in the dirt. So let's say if you have a basement or a crawl space in your house, and the way that the house is set up, that water is going to eventually get under there, unfortunately. Sometimes it does happen. So they'll put a pump inside that area, and the pump basically fills up with water from all the water getting under there, and then it pumps it out, usually to the street or to a drain.
Oh, okay. So what are those called?
Sump pumps.
Oh, the sump pump. Yes, I've sold a couple of houses that had that. Okay. So do you have to check those like every so many months to make sure they're going to be working when it rains?
Yeah, definitely check it before it rains, maybe a couple months or two before. Usually what you want to do is fill it up with water, because they usually have a valve or a float. So when the water, or when the bucket fills up with water, it has a float where it'll then turn on the pump, and you want to fill it up. That way you want to make sure that it's actually working.
The pump is going to turn on.
Yeah, that the pump's going to turn on.
So the sump pumps. So make sure try them, test them before it starts raining. Okay. I've only seen one of those in a house. So you don't see them that often here, do you?
Not a lot. I see them a lot in I see them a lot in La Jolla. Any area where there's, because a lot of times, the houses are on the hills. And so any house on the hill, or in like La Jolla
with those nice views.
Yeah. Some really nice views over there.
It's totally worth it, even if you have to have a sump pump. Okay, and then, so now let's get inside the house. What do we need to do to get ready for the winter inside the house?
One thing is change your filter for the heater. You can usually find it inside the actual heater, and I can add pictures to our page to show you where that is. Sometimes there's like a little, like a screen at the ceiling or on the wall. Usually your filter's in there too, and you want to replace it probably every few months, 2 to 3 months, just depending on how often you use the heater, or if you have, or the AC during the summer, or if you have pets, because that pet hair can accumulate over time, especially if you have more than one pet. So you probably have to change them more frequently than that.
And it's really easy to change.
Oh, super easy. Yeah, really easy. Just make sure you save the first one, because if you throw it away, you try to go buy another one, you're not going to figure out what size you need, because they come in different sizes.
You're not supposed to take it with you to Home Depot. I just take the whole thing with me.
Or what you can do is take a picture of the dimension on your phone and just take that with you to.
I always take it with me to Home Depot all dirty, and I'll just leave it over there. But mine is not that big. I know there's some huge ones. Mine is like probably this big. Like
yeah,
2 feet by one, like 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, they have three different numbers: the height, width, and length. So depending on the size of the
They
heater.
get fancy with those too. Now they have for if you have allergies. There's some that I don't know if they work. I usually just get the basic one, but I guess they can go like from $3 all the way to $17 for the same thing.
Yeah, they can get expensive. They promote themselves as being more, they pick up eco-friendly. They pick up more pet hair than others.
Yeah.
That way the pet hair doesn't go through the ducts.
They do pick up a lot of stuff because when you change those, even after 3 months, you can tell right away.
Yeah, you can tell right away.
I'm sure you get to see some fun ones at the inspections.
I've seen filters where it literally is starting to shrink.
Oh my god!
And just like because it just has so much dirt and pet hair and
it has never been changed.
Never been changed. And the funny thing, there's a filter the clean filter right next to it in the closet, and
nobody forgot to go in there.
Yeah, everyone forgets to change it. So that's why we're going over this, so you can remember to change your filter.
Yeah.
Because if you don't change your filter, it actually can malfunction your heater.
Oh.
Because when all that dirt starts to accumulate in your filter, your heater is actually working harder because it's trying to suck all the air, but if there's so much dirt in it, it's almost like sucking through a straw with a paper at the end of it.
Oh,
you're gonna
a lot of pressure on
a lot of pressure, yeah.
On the furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then that's one good reason to do it because it's expensive to get those fixed. Okay, so that's for the heater, change the filter. Also, in the thermostat, you can there's a setting so it can remind you to change that filter, I think.
Yeah, some thermostats are a little bit more, better quality. That tells you when to change the filter.
Mm-hmm.
It also tells you, you can actually set settings so where it turns on and turns off at certain times of the day or a certain temperature. You put it on auto mode.
Yeah, I think we have that just in the summer. Okay, so what are the 3 most important things that we need to always check?
3 things I would say is definitely your roof. Outside the house, I think we've covered those 3.
Around the house for the water intrusion.
Around the house for water intrusion. And, I think that's pretty much it. You want to do your own inspection too. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what to look at, you can always send us an email and, hey, what should I be checking for? Use us as a resource. If you want to send a picture or email us a picture, or text us a picture, just get a hold of us. If you see something in your house that you're not sure what it is, we can always try to maybe help answer any questions that anyone has.
So Miguel wants to know, what other inspections do you offer? Or tell us all the inspections you offer.
Yeah, so we try to be a one-stop shop. So we do your general home inspection. I also have a roofing company, so we do roof inspections. We do that. We do septic tank inspections, sewer inspections, mold inspections, pool inspections. So if your house has a pool or jacuzzi, we can inspect that. So we're certified to inspect all those things. Now, we're not licensed general contractors, so a lot of times people ask us for estimates, and unfortunately we can't do that.
But you can refer them to someone?
Yeah, we can refer them to someone. I'm sure your real estate agent has trusted people that they've worked with before that you can try to get estimates on things that we look at that need to get fixed.
What about, somebody said something about here, about a septic tank.
Mm-hmm.
Can those get damaged by rain or stuff?
Septic tank, not that I've seen with the septic tank. Now, you do want to keep an eye on the septic tank, especially during the rain, because let's say, it's raining, right? The dirt gets wet, so you really can't tell if the septic tank is really working or not, because usually when you inspect the septic tank, you let the water run for a good amount of time to see if the water or the soil starts to get saturated with water. That could mean that the septic tank could have a problem, and it's really hard to tell
if it's wet.
If it's wet when it rains.
So you want to do it before?
Yeah.
Okay, I think somebody had asked something about a septic tank, but I can't find it.
It was Luis. He asked, what is it?
Oh, so what is a septic tank?
Oh, a septic tank, it's like your own private sewer in your backyard. Yeah. So a lot of times, we just flush the toilet and forget about it, right? Yeah. We don't know where it goes.
Goes through the sewer.
Right.
That's how we know. But in this area, like here in Chula Vista, you're not going to find any of those anymore. They've been replaced if they were ever any here. But it's more like in Jamul, up in the more rural.
Yeah, more
areas.
rural areas. Yeah, because if you're in a mountain, they're not going to run one big sewer pipe like all the way.
Yeah, so you gotta do that. I think I've seen in Alpine, some of the houses that I've sold, Escondido, they have the septic tanks. That's what it is, Luis. Let me see. Let me make sure that we're answering all the questions. We already told them about the inspections. So for the roof inspection, how much does something like that run? Because right now I know a lot of people are going to need roof inspections. So tell us about pricing for that.
Roof inspection can range from $100 to $200 just for a general roof inspection. And we actually have a licensed roofer that we can send out to inspect the roof. So that's just a general inspection. It'll provide you with the report. Possibly an estimate, just so you know exactly how much it'll cost to fix the things. A lot of times we just run into people needing maintenance and repairs, which goes over all the things we talked about, sealing, caulking, cleaning the gutters. That's all maintenance and repairs, which, it's good to hire a roofer because that's what they do every day is maintenance and repairs and put on brand new roofs. So you're probably looking at about maybe a couple $100 for a roof inspection.
That is great. So Eric, let me ask you, because we do inspections for our new home buyers, and we're in escrow, and they do the inspections. But is that the only time we should do a physical home inspection?
No, I would get it once a year if you have the money to spend it, or let's say if you sell a house, it'd be good
before you put it on the market, so you know what it is.
So you know what it is, in case if there's anything major that you weren't aware of, we can find it for you and try to get it fixed before you sell it.
Would you recommend doing an inspection for somebody that's going to rent a house?
That's funny you asked that, because I've been asked that quite a few times now. It's really not something that is probably practiced a lot, because as a renter, you don't own the property, and you probably don't have, the budget to pay a home inspector to inspect something that you don't own. So it's really it's really something that's not practiced.
I never thought of that until a few months ago. I had a house and the tenants moved out because we were selling the house. So they moved to another property. As soon as they moved in the property, like 2 months after, they had like a big plumbing problem. And the landlord was blaming them, and he wanted them to pay for that because they said we never had plumbing problems before. And me as a realtor, because I see what happens sometimes with the plumbing, sometimes it could be a root, or maybe they never had any problem, but it's an old pipe and it finally broke. And I just felt so bad for these tenants because they were being blamed and they wanted to kick them out. And I think if they would have done an inspection, the inspector would have probably noted that.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, if you're renting a house, I would probably maybe suggest it, because issues like that can happen where the owner wants to put blame on the tenants, and
but there's mold, and you don't, because you guys, even though you guys are not mold inspectors, if there's something too obvious or you can smell it, you'll be able to see it. So I think, I never thought of that until that happened to her, but I started thinking, even when they're renting, they should do a home inspection just to see what they're getting into. You're going to be living there.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a really good idea, even for us to maybe try to do and just maybe promote maybe a checklist. It's not going to be like super thorough, but just a general checklist of things that can come up. Safety, plumbing.
Yeah,
we can look at.
You don't want to be blamed.
I've actually got a call similar to that where the tenant was renting. They had a sewer problem. The sewer actually flooded the house. The owner blamed the tenant.
Yeah. I would too. If I was the landlord, I would be like, it was you. It was fine when you moved in.
Yeah, exactly. But the tenant wanted the owner to pay for the inspection. So it was kind of, they went back and forth, and we try to do the inspection for them, but it's up to them really if they want us to come out. So it's really hard to do.
It's totally worth it if you're the tenant. Just get your inspection and have peace of mind that you're moving into a safe house and with no plumbing issues that you're going to be blamed for after. Okay, I think we cover most everything.
Yeah, we covered a lot of stuff. So I think as an overview, just caulk and seal, paint your house, clean your gutters. If you have a sump pump, make sure it's working. Fill it up with water so that way you can make sure that the pump's actually pumping everything out. Get a roof inspection. That'd actually be really helpful. That way you know exactly if your roof needs maintenance or repairs. Clean your filters for your heater. I'm also, like I said, I want to add pictures on our website or on our Facebook page, so that way you can actually see what a dirty filter looks like, or why you should caulk and paint the outside of your house, and what areas to seal on the roof, and we'll add all those pictures so that way you can kind of get an idea of what exactly we're talking about.
So you'll share the link here, but if they don't see the link, where can they go to? So you're going to put them on your Facebook page or your website?
So I'll put it on my business page, the Inspectors Company Facebook page. So I'll put pictures up there. I'll share this video, and then I'll add photographs. That way you guys can get an idea of what we're talking about and actually see a picture of it.
Perfect. And you brought a $25 gift card for our viewers, right?
Yes, I did. $25 gift card to
Target. Is that why you're wearing red?
No, I just thought I'd be in the holiday spirit and just wear a red polo.
So that's gonna be the drawing. So if you haven't made a comment, make your comment now. So Vero can add you to the.
Merab wants to know pool inspection prices.
The pool inspection prices. Okay, since you're here, what if somebody wants to do a pool inspection?
So if someone wanted to add the pool inspection to the home inspection, usually it's about $100 to $200, depending if it's like a pool and spa. We check all the pool equipment, so we could probably do a little bit cheaper than that if we're just bundling everything together. But if we're only doing a pool and we're driving somewhere, it's probably going to be about $200 just to do the pool. But if you do it all together, we'll probably get it way more cheaper than that.
Yeah, like 150. Okay.
Like $100 maybe.
Yeah, you know what? It's good to know. I'll tell you really quick. We had an inspection with them. My clients didn't want to do the pool inspection, and we ended up having a problem with the pool. What was going on with the pool wasn't broken when we would have had the inspection, but our inspection report would have shown that everything was fine. So we could have used that for our home warranty. So they could come and replace it because we had an inspection and say, hey, this was working fine, the water was not green, the pump was working fine when we inspected it. But because we didn't have that inspection, the home warranty was saying that it was already like that when it wasn't. So sometimes it helps you by saying it's fine, and then if it breaks the following month when you just bought it, then we needed that, and we're having an issue with the home warranty for that.
Yeah, and if we inspected the pool, usually we try to find things that could be problematic that you want to get fixed. But just paying a little extra to get the pool inspected, it's definitely worth it. I get asked all the time, oh, I thought the pool was part of the home inspection, which usually not, because a lot of home inspectors, they're not certified to look at the pool. So that's why they don't add that as the home inspection, because they're not qualified or they don't know what to check.
Right.
So that's why you do have to pay a little extra, because someone like us may know how to look at the pool, that you would just have to pay a little extra to get it checked.
Totally worth it, definitely. Okay. Hopefully you guys get some tips, and if you're a homeowner, even if you're renting, you want to protect the house that you're living in, and you don't want any leaks. So definitely, like Eric said, do all those things. You want to hand me those? Thank you. And thank you for joining us, and thank you for bringing the gift card.
Yeah, of course. And if anybody, hopefully no one has a roof leak, today or tomorrow, but give me a call. I can probably help you guys try to get that fixed.
I know there's going to be a lot of you calling now that it's going to start raining, and sometimes it's not just the rain, it's the wind, that if the shingles are not secured correctly,
that's true, they
fly off. Even if it's we just have a new roof at this house and the shingles are coming off.
Yeah, the roof could have never been maybe properly fastened, and the wind just blew the shingles right off.
So give him a call. Let's see. Okay, let's get somebody this $25 gift card. Who's going to be the lucky one today? Oh, I did the wrong sound.
Miguel Nava.
Miguel, thank you for participating and asking your questions.
He doesn't count.
He doesn't count. Okay, let's do another one.
He brought the gift card, so I don't...
Oh, Miguel, look
nice
how
try.
lucky you are.
Unless it's a different Miguel Nava.
His wife is probably like, hey, I want the Target card. Okay.
Yeah, he watches all the time, so he wanted to see if you got lucky. You are lucky. You
are
did
lucky.
win.
Now you know. Okay, because there's a lot of you there. Hold on. Let's do this because I forgot what I said.
What does that say?
Merab Castañeda. Yay!
Congratulations.
Congratulations. $25 to Target. We'll put that in the mail. I think we just mailed she was a winner last week, right?
Wow. Won twice in a row?
Yes. She's pretty lucky. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Hopefully you guys learned a
worth it
lot
to join.
today. Huh?
I said it's worth it to join and watch. Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes it's $100. Last 2 weeks ago we gave $100.
And then Miguel, I'll get you your own gift card. Don't worry.
We'll
Want
get you a
to
home-
make sure all your viewers actually someone that actually watches and participates all the time actually got the
Got
gift
it.
card, but he'll get a gift card.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of you. Let me just go over some names just to say thank you because they're watching us.
Yeah.
Jorge Alvarez, Karen Merab, Jamie Herrero, Victor Gonzalez, Tony Reyes, Miguel Nava, Victoria, Thomas, Stephanie Puente, that's our lender, Luis Isais, Diana de la Torre.
Is it? I just want to make sure which Miguel now. Yeah.
That
Okay,
is.
that's my Miguel.
That's your Miguel.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And next week we're gonna be talking about solar panels.
Nice.
So yeah, I just got them installed in my house. So we are gonna review how I'm saving money. I didn't believe it, so I wanted to see. So now he's gonna be here, and I'm gonna talk about my experience with solar panels. We put a new roof because of the solar panels.
Mhm.
Actually, the company did it. And so we're
Very
going to be
smart.
talking about that and how much money I'm saving. So we'll be talking about things like this again. So join us. And don't forget to come to our open houses. We have an open house here in Spring Valley this weekend. So we're going to post it on our Facebook page and all of our new listings that we have as well. We have a lot of listings right now. The market is a little slower than usual. And buyers, if you're a buyer, this is the time. You know, there's a lot of inventory, so you kind of put the rules right now. The buyers are
Yeah.
setting the rules right now.
Yeah, they have the leverage, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
because there's so much inventory. So take advantage, and if you haven't gotten for qualified, give us a call and let's get you into a home and stop renting. Thank you, Eric, for joining us.
No, thank you again. I can't wait till hopefully next time. you come on.
Yes, maybe next time you can bring Miguel.
Yeah, we'll have him bring him on.
Yeah, that way you can be giving out the card yourself. Right? Thank you, Eric.
All right, thanks, Faby. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week, 4 p.m.
Yeah, talk about your open houses or anything.
I did.